Welcome everyone to our October 2025 local food virtual town hall. It's been a hot minute since we've been together in this format, since we didn't have a July town hall. We were Many of us were at the local food summit, so hopefully seeing each other in person rather than on the screen. Since it has been a minute, I will introduce myself. I'm Rebecca McMahon, the Local Food System Program Administrator for K-State Research and Extension. And on behalf of our entire K-State local food team, we want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to join us for our town hall. So today we have two lightning presentations. Look at our agenda here. We have two lightning presentations. Our first presentation will be Matt Bender with the ARC of Central Plains, sharing with us about the Harvest Hayes farm and program related to that. And then our second presentation will be Renee Bryant from the Johnson County Department of Health and Environment, and she'll be sharing about their Connecting Johnson County Farmers Markets project, especially the research part of it that they have completed and, kind of their next steps. So once we've had those two lightning presentations, we will have some time for Q&A with our presenters and a few updates, both from K-State as far as kind of where things are at from the standpoint of program funding and upcoming events and things like that. And then we're going to open it up to anyone on the call. I know we've got a lot of partners on the call today that have things that would be timely to share, as far as upcoming programs, staffing changes, funding opportunities. This is a busy time of year for local food events and planning for 2026. So do be thinking if you've got things you want to share, kind of be prepped for that when we get to the second half of our town hall today. And we will also talk about our 2026 town halls. All right. So as we get going here, I do want to throw out an opening poll here, just a couple of questions. Let me throw that up for you. So a couple folks have commented that their cameras aren't working. Well, it never fails that when I have a big audience, my mouse stops working. So our first question is just if you've attended a town hall before, or if you've attended one other, or if this is your first. Maybe it's been so long you don't remember. Anyway, that's the first question. And then our second question is simply, what part of Kansas do you live in? And I added the KC Metro on my slide, but I did not add it on the poll. So anyway, once you have completed the poll questions, if you would go ahead and drop in the chat your name, your location, your organization or business affiliation, if any, so that everyone can kind of see who is on the call, that would be great. All right. So just so you can all see kind of where everyone's at, we've got a lot of returning participants this month and a few new folks. So welcome to all of you that are new to our town hall. And then the part of the state, we have a little bit smaller group than we have had sometimes. And so we are pretty well spread around this month, which is great to have a good mix of folks from all across the state. All right. So with that, I think we are going to jump right in to a couple more announcements before we get to our presenters. So always just a reminder that if you want to be updated with our town halls or get the links once they've been posted, the recordings, things like that. You can sign up for our email newsletter. All of that information goes out through that email newsletter. Okay, now we are going to turn it over to Matt Bender with the Arc of Central Plains. So Matt, I will invite you to unmute yourself. Matt is one of the ones who's been struggling with his camera, so I'm not going to spotlight him today just because there's nothing to spotlight, but I will let you go ahead, Matt, and just let me know when you want me to advance the slides.
Yeah, well, thank you all for having me on this morning. I'm using my phone as a hotspot, so I'm assuming that's why the camera is not working. But no, I just good morning. I'm Matt Bender. I'm the business development director with the Arc of Central Plains here in Hays. I definitely appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about one of our newer initiatives. It's a small but growing local food project called Harvest Hays. Harvest Hays is a social enterprise of the Arc of Central Plains. The Arc is a nonprofit organization dedicated to enriching the lives of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We kind of do that through participation, education, and lifelong inclusion in community life. Since the 1960s, the ARC is focused on helping individuals find purpose, independence, and connection. And Harvest Hays just kind of takes that mission and puts it into the soil, quite literally. You can go ahead and click on a slide or advance the. We do most of our growing in high tunnels, which really helps us kind of stretch out and extend the season. And it really just helps us kind of keep things consistent inside the tunnels. We focus mainly on tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, kind of some different herbs. Over the past year, we've also added an open field plot where we grew some squash, potatoes, some watermelon and pumpkins. When we're not planning what to grow, when we were planning on what to grow, we were kind of just focusing on crops that not only thrive kind of in the Kansas climate, but also that perform really well at the market. We're beginning growers, and so we kind of just threw a batch in, and so like we're definitely learning. Like on the bottom left, you can kind of see the picture of our winter squash and everything. We planted over 200 squash and zucchini this summer, and so we had quite the harvest with it. Okay, you can go to the next slide. But what really makes Harvest Hays unique, though, is that it's not as much about the produce as it is people. The farm serves as a hands-on training site where individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities can build real vocational and life skills. The participants, they help seed, they plant, they harvest, and they also help package the produce. Along the way, they're able to gain kind of confidence, teamwork experience, and then just kind of pride, just seeing the fruits of their labor directly benefit the community. The pictures that we have on here are three of our guys that work for us. So on the top left one in the yellow shirt, that's Riley. In the middle is Kaylor, and then to the right is Corbin. So these are our first three guys that we brought on last year, and they've kind of worked with us through. You can kind of see the different things as far as like helping build the tunnels. The bottom right picture is when we were out planting our field and getting the drip irrigation and everything going for that. Okay, you can go ahead and go to the next one. When it comes to our role in the local food system, our goal has been to keep things kind of as community centered as possible. We sell through a local farmers market here where we can connect face to face with our customers and really share our story. We supply to a few local restaurants, and we've even sold tomatoes into Clemma's, which is a grocery store over in Russell, about 20 miles from us. And recently this year, we also started a CSA subscription box program that continues to grow. The CSA has been a great bridge kind of between the farm and the community. It gives us predictable demand. It helps us reduce waste, and it provides a consistent outlet for what we grow. But kind of more than that, it really helps connect the people, our customers, to get to know the faces kind of behind their food, and in that sense of relationship, it's really been pretty special to see kind of develop. These are a couple of the restaurants that are that we serve to. One is Tiger Station, and then Professors, which is a sandwich shop here in town, and then these are the guys at the farmers market there on the right. Okay, you can go to the next one, ma'am. More recently, we've started expanding into value-added foods. We're making assorted kind of pickled vegetables, relishes, breads, and kind of different baked goods that incorporate the items that we do grow. This not only diversifies what we can offer, but it also extends the shelf life on our crops and creates more job training opportunities for our crew. This is actually where I'm at right now. We just took over a former restaurant called Shirley's here in Hays. That's been an excellent opportunity to kind of bring our produce in and everything. And you can kind of see the pickled pepperoncinis on the bottom. That's a lineup of our different CSA boxes, the different sizes that we've done. And then you got Riley, Corbin, and Kaler again. Okay, ma'am. A big part of what makes this possible is our partnerships. We're fortunate to collaborate with several organizations that share our values and support the work that we do. The NRCS, the Ellis County Conservation District, the J over at the Extension Office. They've all been really instrumental in helping us improve our growing systems and our sustainability practices. Bethesda Place, which is where we lease our farmland, continues to be a vital partner. It's a residential community and working farm that provides meaningful faith-based living for adults with disabilities. And through our partnership also with We Can, which is a program of the West Central Kansas Special Education Cooperative and USD 49, where we're developing workforce pathways that give individuals a hand-on experience in agriculture and food production. Each of these relationships really strengthens what we do and helps continue to connect our mission to the community. The top right one on this one, we had a partnership with Home Depot. So Home Depot actually granted us a grant for all of our drip irrigation, and so that's Brandon, the store director, and then that's some of the guys from Bethesda, the older gentlemen, and then you have our crew too. The middle top one is Randy. He's an awesome guy, and then some other guys from We Can. Okay, you can go to the next one. What I love most about Harvest Hays, though, is that it touches multiple parts of the local food ecosystem. It is about production, but it's also about education, workforce development, and inclusion. Really demonstrates that a local food system can be more than just kind of what's grown. It's also about who grows it and how it strengthens the community. Looking ahead, we plan to continue to work on our CSA program. We're exploring different like small scale wholesale opportunities, and we definitely want to continue with our value added products. We'll keep working closely with our partners to continue to grow and strengthen our training and employment opportunities, and to show how local food and an inclusive environment can really thrive side by side. Because at the end of the day, our hope is that Harvest Hays serves as both a model and kind of a reminder that local food can be a tool for community growth, inclusion, and sustainability kind of all at once. But yeah, no, I thank you all so much for the opportunity to be part of this network. It's really inspiring to kind of see how the local food systems across Kansas are connecting kind of producers, educators, and communities. We're definitely proud to be a small part of that effort, and helping grow good food and good people out here in Hays. So thank y'all.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. That was great. So if you've got questions for Matthew, feel free to drop those into the chat, and then we'll have a Q&A session after we hear from Renee. So with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Renee Bryant with the Johnson County Department of Health and Environment. And I will get the slide moved forward for you as well. All right, there you go, Renee.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Great. Thanks for the introduction and the opportunity to present to you guys this afternoon. I definitely think you guys are the experts and not the Health and Environment Department. So we were going to really look for you guys for some advice of how we can carry this forward in the state of Kansas and regionally. Like she said, I am Renee Bryant. I am with Johnson County Health and Environment. I'm our food policy and advocacy program manager, and I get the pleasure of coordinating our local food policy council in Johnson County. It's a 13-member council. About 4 years ago, probably in 2022, there was a lot of discussion around our local food working group that we wanted to convene the 9 local food farmers markets in Johnson County, as they all worked independently of each other, sometimes in competition with each other. There's very differences in them. Some of them are city ran, some of them are city municipalities that are financially supported, some are volunteers, and there's kind of a mix. And so we wrote a grant in 2023, a USDA grant, which was the Health and Environment's first grant that we've written with them, a farmers market local food promotion program. We wrote a 3-year capacity grant to look at the 9 different markets and collect a lot of data, and then to develop an action plan. So if you're not familiar with Johnson County, there are the 9 markets and where they're located. We do have a cluster up in the Northeast, which are probably less than 5 to 10 miles from each other. So that's an opportunity. So we have over 600,000, and I think right now we're up to probably 650. So you can go to the next slide. So there were 4 objectives in the grant. You can see our partners, New Ventures Advisors did a lot of work for us, KU School of Architecture, Planning and Design, and Georgia Tech University. The first one was to convene a farmers market steering committee. We did that the first quarter of the grant in early 2024 when we were awarded. That is made up of local food system experts as well as the farmers market managers. And I think throughout the program, we had 6 farmers market managers that consistently kept with us in the market. The next piece of that was collecting a lot of data. We did an assessment on the vendor and customer needs. We did that through a rapid market assessment, which I'll show you pictures in the next slide. That was pretty labor intensive. So we have a whole kit that we hope to work on that can assist other farmers markets to do that. That's real-time data that we're collecting from customers at the actual market. The next one was a retail environment of the farmers markets, the vendors and the customers. We did 2 different surveys. The next one was looking at the 20 different municipalities. We did an environmental policy scan. The next one was a capacity assessment of the 9 markets. And so we have now collected all the data. I'll take you to the next slide. And this is kind of represents all the data that we collected. You can see in the far left, we completed it at 8 different markets. We have 1 market that just received funding, Overland Park Farmers Market, to do an extensive expansion. So they had already collected a lot of data over the past few years. You can see in the lower left is the 8 different markets that we did the rapid market assessments in real time, getting with the customers at the market. In that middle there, this is an environmental audit tool that we developed that we can share throughout the state. Far right shows you how much time and minutes, also interviewing all the different market managers. And the lower right is the number of customer surveys and the vendor surveys. We have all those surveys that we can share across the state. And we also can share how we spread that on social media and on the different avenues. On the next slide. The biggest piece of the data that we wanted to look at was how we can increase the sales for the farmers market vendors. We took, with all the data, giving all the credit to Georgia Tech Technology in the far upper right, which is even a little over my head of data collection, of how they took all the different data and showed that the longer the dwelling time and the satisfaction with the environment and the product led to a higher fruit and vegetable purchasing. So you can see in the upper left, that is a social atmosphere assessment that we took with the environmental scans of all of the markets. The next slide. The next piece after the data collection, we were utilizing all of that. The outcomes of that each market, so all 9 markets, will get an individual mini report of specific recommendations based on their data that was collected. We will also be having a countywide policy and funding recommendations that the Food Policy Council will work on. Developing marketing strategies. This is going to be done in the first quarter of 2026. That really was the goal, that the county and the Food Policy Council would take on more of a unified messaging to promote all 9 markets and local food in the county. And we're currently in the process of having a countywide action plan as far as the policy priorities moving forward. And right now we're in the discussion of putting together a toolkit for folks across the state of Kansas that can utilize. And then the fourth piece is just sharing that data across. And you can see in the lower right, there are a number of recommendations that came out of the data. We separated those out in vendor and county policy environment. We have recommendations for the market operations, sales strategies, and vendor supports, as well as food waste and recovery, also the retail environment, and we're working on the marketing operations. So I think that's the end of my slides. So for all the folks that like data, we will be able to share probably, the final action plan will be closer to probably 60 pages that others can learn from.
All right. So thanks, Renee, for sharing that with us. So much great information. We could probably have you talk for a whole hour, I think. So from looking at the chat, I think there was a question for Matt about who does the work of managing the production with your group.
Yeah, so I've got a gentleman named Bryce Mars that works with me. So the 2 of us are employed by the ARC, and then we have our 3 guys that work with us also. So it's literally just the 5 of us. I do have a hospitality background, so it's kind of helped a little bit on the actual processing side of it. But no, that's one of the joys of being in an agriculture community is we've leaned on our neighbors quite a bit to answer any questions.
Okay. So there's another question that came in for you. Could you elaborate a little more on season extension strategies that you're using?
Yeah, so a lot of that is come down to our high tunnels. The high tunnels are basically like a 3-season tunnel. We're still growing cucumbers and tomatoes right now. Last year we had produce going. We were still harvesting tomatoes on Thanksgiving last year. So the high tunnels that we have do have sidewalls that raise and lower, so we're able to kind of close it up and seal in the doors and everything to kind of stretch it out a few weeks.
All right. Are there any other questions that anyone has for either of our presenters? I have a whole list, but I don't want to, start taking up space. Well, I will throw a question at you, Matt, as well. So you talked about kind of what your program is. I'm curious, who came up with the idea? Like, who decided this is the thing that we want to do, and what did it take to get from that initial idea to actually having the program in place?
Yeah. So I was on the board of directors for the ARC for about 5 years. Like I said, I have a hospitality background. So before this, I was actually I co-founded a brewery here in Kansas, and so my wife and I kind of were just talking about the future and what we I don't know, kind of wanted out of it and wanted something with a little bit more purpose. My youngest son has Down syndrome, and so that's kind of what tied us in with the ARC. And so we were looking at actually opening like a luncheonette, and so we ended up talking with Jay Harris over at our extension office, which is conveniently located right across the street from us. And so the building that we were looking at had a hydroponic system, and so initially we were planning on growing, small scale hydroponic inside the restaurant. And then Jay had mentioned the EQIP program through the NRCS, and so Stephen Walters is one of our NRCS agents out here. So ended up sitting down with him, and we kind of talked about the EQIP program, which is a fantastic opportunity. I strongly encourage anybody to look into it. It's kind of a cost share for the high tunnels, and and so we ended up meeting with Stephen at the NRCS, and we purchased some high tunnels, and here we go.
All right. So we had another question then from Quinlan, kind of clarifying that, basically it sounds like Harvest Haze has operated as a social enterprise since the start. Would you consider that accurate?
Yes, it is. So the ARC of Central Plains, which is our umbrella, our parent company, has been around since the late 60s. So if you're not familiar with the ARC, it is a national organization where basically you have these group of thrift stores as your revenue stream, and then all of that revenue goes towards individuals with disabilities and kind of inclusion and everything. And so, the store out here in Hays has continued to thrive and grow. The community's been really supportive of us. And so as the store continues to grow, that's where we've started branching out into the social enterprise side of it to grow our programs. We also fund Special Olympics out here, and then we have a program called Buffalo Adventures, which is more of an activity-based program.
All right, thank you. We've got some nice comments in the chat for you as well to check out. Are there any questions for Renee? Again, I have a list, so if no one else has any. So Renee, I was wondering if you could share, you talked about doing the environmental scan, and you showed us a picture of the tool, but I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about like what is an environmental scan, what types of environmental things were you looking for, and maybe like were there a couple of big takeaways? I know you mentioned like the social environment, but if you had any other takeaways.
Okay. Yeah, an environmental scan is something that we worked with K-State, or KU, School of Architectural Planning and Design, and they developed the audit tool where they literally walked around each market and looked at how it was laid out, how it was built, everything from where the sun was coming in, things like ADA ramps, signage, all the physical environment and how that what effect that had on the shopping behavior. So it was directly related to how they shopped and purchased food. And so one example was, which is kind of a low-hanging fruit that the Food Policy Council can work on or advocate, is that there was very limited signage that the participant as well as the environmental audit realized is just simply on bathrooms or drinking water or more wayfinding for the food pantries. Everything until the height or the size of the stall or the tents. And so they have come up with a prototype of the most efficient markets that markets, can look at, size, where sound is coming from and everything like that. So I can share that tool with you guys, and then also the findings of that folks could take. And the prototype was the nice thing. I think folks that are the smaller markets or volunteer markets are the ones that can most likely learn from these prototypes.
Do you have a final report put together with all of your findings yet, or is that still in
We're
process?
in the works on that and hope to have that done probably in the next few months, to share that with folks. One thing I will say is that the research, it was much more than we had anticipated, and I think we overshot a bit. We kept taking more and more and then looking at what we could do with that data. And so we have a list of recommendations. A lot of it is on around the retail environment, and then recommendations for how to enhance that retail environment. So yes, we'll be sharing that report as well as all the different layouts of the stalls that their design and designers came up with.
Nice. Well, once you've got that put together, definitely we can share it out, along with you or whatever you want to do. We're happy to lift that up and get that out. Even if it's at the January town hall, we can do that as well. So, all right. Any last questions for either Renee or Matt? All right. Last chance, going. Okay. Next slide. So we do have a few K-State updates to share with you. As some of you know, we did have a regional food system partnership grant that ended at the end of September. So we're kind of in our wrap-up process for that grant as well, and looking forward to what is coming up next. So a few things that we can share that we know for sure are moving forward is we're going to continue with these quarterly town halls. So we have gone ahead and set the dates for next year, as well as set up the registration. So you can grab your phone and scan the QR code or click the link that is in the chat and get registered for next year's town halls. Hopefully I did everything correctly, so it's all looking right. So they will be the last Wednesday of the month, still at 11 a.m. So January 28th, April 29th, July 29th, and October 28th. So at this point, we're not planning to have a local food summit next year, so no potential conflicts with that at this stage. We also have some news from Quinlan and Jenny regarding the Heartland Regional Food Business Center status.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Go ahead, Quinlan.
No, thanks. Go ahead, Jenny. I'll let you go.
Okay, so Quinlan and I are really excited to say that we, some of you may know that the Heartland Regional Food Business Center was canceled by the USDA. And so we are really excited to announce that we get to stay on. So we have been funded. We can't, I don't think, announce who is funding us at this point, but we have been funded in order to stay on and continue to do this work across Kansas. And so we have a list here, and I'll let Quinlan kind of go through some of the things, just reminding you that we're here to be resources for the food businesses, you as a food business or food businesses in your community. So
Absolutely.
Take it away, Quinlan.
Thanks, Jenny. Yeah, so we're thrilled to be able to continue to offer the technical assistance, which typically takes the form of one-on-one meetings, whether that's Zoom or telephone call, or on the off chance that you're a small food business located in the communities where Jenny and I live, or we may be for a conference or something, we relish the opportunity to meet folks in person. But after a kind of diagnostic one-on-one, we can help guide folks toward resources, perhaps do some fact finding on their behalf, connect them to the right resource at the right time. And with sort of this literally renewed lease on our ability to do this work, I think I speak for us both when I say that we have kind of a renewed energy, focus, and excitement to continue to serve the food and farm businesses across Kansas. So we are still accepting, for those of you that are familiar with our technical assistance form on the formerly the Heartland Center website, we're still using the same form for submission for folks to get in contact and otherwise able to receive emails at the email at the bottom of the screen here, or Jenny or my personal K-State emails will not change. So if we've been in touch in the past, reach out and you can still reach us there. As far as what is happening with the Heartland, formerly the Heartland Regional Food Business Center, it's now being sort of reorganized as what's being called the Heartland Food Business Coalition. And so the original key partners, as well as the collaborators that worked with us, are basically continuing to find new ways to keep moving the work forward, seeking independent forms of funding. As we all know, regional efforts can be a little challenging when it comes to funding, typically being on a state-by-state basis. And so we're finding sort of a patchwork of funding to continue participating in the coalition work as much or as little as we're able with our changing or fluctuating capacities. However, worth noting, what's formerly the Heartland Regional Food Business Center, a small skeleton crew is continuing to implement and monitor the Business Builder Award. And so there are 25 businesses across the state of Kansas that are currently being supported as they execute the projects for capacity building on their food or farm related business. There may be updates from our team in the near future around sort of what that looks like. Again, the dust is still settling after the closure of this major grant and regional food business center. But what matters is that our technical assistance support is going strong and still available. And we highly encourage you to continue sending folks in your community our way. Jenny, anything I forgot to mention?
I would say that we believe with our funding that we're going to be able to support some of the similar programs that we were already able to do. We believe we'll probably be able to do the food testing still for the Kansas Value Added Foods Lab that was very popular, and some other things. I think the scholarship. So just stay tuned for those opportunities if you weren't able to take advantage of them, or if somebody else will probably know a little bit more and be able to roll stuff out. I'm expecting in January. Along with our funding, the funding that's supporting us is supporting Rebecca. So all three of us got supported through that. And we are so super stoked to still have Rebecca on our team as their funding was running out with the RFSP funding. So I think that there's some amazing stuff. Yeah, give Rebecca those kudos because she does a lot of work across the state that I think many times goes unrecognized. And I just want her to know that we do appreciate her. And look at all the people, Rebecca. You're so needed. So, but yeah, thank you so much. And we're really appreciative of the support that we are getting to be able to support all of you.
All right. Thanks, Jenny and Quinlan. So the last little tidbit from K-State that we've got coming up is our local food producer workshops that we hold in partnership with the Kansas Department of Ag. These workshops will be in February and March of 2026, and we have increased our number of locations yet again. So we are up to 7 locations across the state, starting in Olathe on February 6th, and making a big ol', I would say a circle, but I think it's more crisscrossing the state multiple directions, and then ending up in Holton on March 13th. So we've got extension agents and partners from KDA and KDHE that are working on getting all of these planned. And we hope to have agendas finalized and registration available. I'll say by December 1st. Hopefully it's ready a little before then, but hopefully no later than early December. So these workshops are great opportunities. One of the first things I'll say is, even if you're not sure if the information is worthwhile, like coming and connecting with other people in your region that are doing local foods is really beneficial, because you'll make connections with folks that you may not know are all, you may not know what they're doing and may find opportunities there. The main focus of the workshops is providing training on foods that are sold direct to consumer. So that's both like home-based businesses, things that can be made in the home kitchen, as well as businesses with licensed kitchens or facilities and things like that. So we spend a lot of time with our KDA partners talking about the rules and regs. And it's a great opportunity to ask questions of our KDA folks in a context that's not regulatory, right? It's just educational, so you can get their feedback right away. We also tend to have a lot of focus on marketing skills. I foresee that at some point in the future, we're going to have some farmers market booth diagrams to present at one of these workshops. Maybe not this year, but in the future. And then each location will have different production topics depending on kind of what the needs are for that location. So some are going to be more focused on high tunnels, some talk a little bit more about value-added product development, just kind of depends. So hopefully something for everyone at all of these workshops. So keep your eyes open. Be on our newsletter list. You'll get the information as soon as we have it ready to go. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to everyone else on the call. If there are any updates that you would like to share regarding programs, funding, upcoming events, so on and so forth, you are welcome to both drop that in the chat, but you can also unmute and share out loud if you would like. Ryan, you were the first one to put something in the chat. Do you want to unmute and share any more about the Kansas Rural Center Conference?
Hey, I have actually been out on paternity leave, so I don't really know any more information. I just thought I'd put the save the date in the chat, so I don't know any more right now. Sorry.
Sounds good. Anyone else have anything? Carrie, I see your hand up.
So North Central Region SARE has 4 grant programs open right now. The Professional Development Program, the Farmer Rancher Grant Program, the Partnership Program, and the Research and Education pre-proposals. Best way to find that stuff is to look at, I'll put it in the chat, but northcentralsare.org, I think.
Thanks, Carrie. Anyone else have anything they want to share? Barb, I see you.
Yes, hello, here I am. A couple of things. Just wanted to let everybody know I will put the information in the chat. We are having a special town hall tomorrow. Our child nutrition area, we know, is again dealing with a lot of the loss of the SNAP benefits, and just any of you that are interested in, what we could suggest then to help our families out there. There will be some ideas and some topics with that. So I will share that information for everyone. And the other is that we are going to bring back our Farm to Plate newsletter. And so as you have information and things to share, I will put Erin's email in the chat for you to send to her so that you could get added to our list. That should be coming out in December. So thank you.
Barb, do you have a link or someplace that folks could go if they wanted to attend the town hall tomorrow?
Yes, I'll add that here in the chat shortly.
Okay, great. Okay, it looks like Brittany, you added a link about the RFSI funded projects. Do you have anything you want to add about that?
Don't have anything really to add at this point. There wasn't a public press release, so the best way to find the projects that were funded is to go to our website on the link that I provided. We were able to fund 21 projects in the second round, which was at a value, I think, of over $850,000 in grant funding. So we're very excited for those projects and for them to get started.
Great, thanks, Brittany. Okay, it looks like Barb got that link dropped into the chat. And Lydia shared an article about support during the federal funding freeze. Do you have anything you want to share in addition to that, Lydia?
Just, it was nice that the news came. We had the RFSI funding for an electric vehicle delivery van that's for us and folks in our area. And then it was back and forth. We didn't know. And Healthy Soils Foundation, we were able to do a bridge loan through them. And sometimes the news stories are just like such bummers. And so this was like a follow-up news story here in Kansas City, Kansas, that was really encouraging and between several organizations. So
Great, thank you. Marilyn, you're sharing a little bit about a project related to your business builder funding. Do you want to unmute and tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, I can share with you that part of our grant was to develop and to hold a food festival in Allen County. We will be inviting food trucks, cottage industries, anybody that produces any kind of food. Will have a contest going on to select a signature dish for Allen County, and we'll have some chefs as judges, and we'll have the public. We'll also have a part of the contest too. We're going to invite any and all agencies that want to come in to pass along their information via a table, and have activities for the kids as well. We're looking forward to this Saturday. I think it'll be a nice event on the largest square in the U.S.
Nice. Now I'm hungry, not just because it's almost lunchtime. All right. Let's see. Does anyone else have any announcements to share? Barb, this is maybe putting you on the spot a little bit. Do you still have a couple of open positions in your department, or are those filled?
No, we still do have, and so yes, we really encourage you. We're looking for a consultant in the northwest part of the state, so that to work with our child nutrition program operators. That is often a difficult position area to fill, but a very needy area. So thank you. We are interested in doing that. And so I will also kind of use this time too, Rebecca, to make my farewell announcement, in that I am retiring December the 5th. And so that Aaron will be assuming a lot of the position of the grants projects that we have. We are going to be applying for the next USDA Farm to School grant, so that we have some great ideas and things that are happening. I'll definitely be following everything that everybody is doing in the local foods area. And so there will be some changes in our organization a little bit, and needs then for training and again support for local foods areas. So thank you, everyone. I've really enjoyed working with everyone here, and I will continue to follow everything happening.
Thanks, Barb. You're going to be sorely missed. We love Aaron too, but it's always sad when someone is
Yeah,
moving on to a new phase,
thank you.
and exciting for you as well.
Yes.
I have to tell everyone, I was with Barb and some others at a farm to school summit a couple weeks ago, and we put together a plan where we basically said that we were going to bring Barb back as a consultant almost immediately upon her retirement. So I'm not sure if she's convinced of that, but that's the plan.
I'm up for fun things, yes, and our project did sound fun, so we'll see.
Yep. All right. Any other announcements? You can see we've got the whole range of announcements going on here, so don't be shy. All right. Well, if not, I'm going to go ahead and start our closing poll for our town hall today. So, I think my slides are in a different order than the poll questions. Oh well. So things that we wanted to talk about are, whether you agree or disagree that the town halls have helped you stay connected to local food efforts. Did you learn something new today? What topics were valuable to you today? And you can select all of the above if you need to on that one. Nope, I just put the question on the wrong slide. Too many slides. How many people will you share something with from today's town hall? And do you have suggestions for speakers or topics in January? So as you complete that poll, you are free to go. We are wrapping up a few minutes early today. So if you weren't able to join the whole session today, or if you need some of those links and didn't get them out of the chat, we will have all of that onto our website here, either by the end of this week or early next week. So you can check that out, as well as it'll be in our newsletter starting next week. So thanks, everyone. Let you get on with your day. We will see you in January, if not before.